Hello, friends. I welcome you all to the first session of Watch and Learn. In today's Watch and Learn session, we are going to decode Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. You all know India is facing one of the grave economic crises since independence in the form of Corona or COVID-19 pandemic. Now, in relation to this Corona pandemic, Indian Prime Minister came out with one important package, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. And in this Abhiyan, he promised 20 lakh crore rupees of economic package, which amounts to 10% of GDP of India. Series of announcements were made from May to June, and in these announcements, the Finance Minister of India gave detail about how this economic package is going to be implemented in India. Now, after these announcements, many experts from economics and social background, they started criticizing this package as inadequate to tackle the corona pandemic. Now, in light of this criticism and these announcements, let's try and decode the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Now, if we really want to decode Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, we want to answer 4 different questions in relation to this Abhiyan. The first question that we are going to answer is, what is the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat and whether it is relevant in today's globalized world? Second thing that we are going to discuss is goals and objectives under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Third point that we are going to discuss is why it is being criticized by experts worldwide. And fourth point that we are going to discuss at the end of this Watch and Learn session is what needs to be done so that we can revive Indian economy in this corona pandemic. Okay, so let's answer first question, that what is the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat? Now, in English, it is called as Self-Reliant India Mission. Now, as you know, self-reliance has been the long-term objective of Indian economy since planning, which was launched in 1950. Okay, so self-reliance has been long-term objective of Indian planning. Now, what do you mean by self-reliance under Indian economic planning? In this Indian economic planning, self-reliance means isolation of Indian economy from rest of the world and meeting all the goods and services demand itself in India. This idea is called as protectionism. In protectionism, you isolate Indian economy from rest of the world by putting tariff and non-tariff barriers, and you simply move out from world trade. Okay, so this was the idea since independence till 1991. In 1991, India adopted the reform package in the form of liberalization, globalization, and privatization. And after globalization, we substantially changed the definition of self-reliance. Now, the current self-reliance that has been announced by Indian Prime Minister, it aims at increasing the level of participation of Indian economy in global value chain. Now, what are these global value chain? As you all know, goods and services consumed by everyone in the world, they are produced in few select economies which are called as manufacturing hub, and they are said to be major players in global value chain. Now, through this Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, what we are trying to do, we are trying to be part of this global supply chain or global value chain. Okay, so you all know that Indian Prime Minister stressed on global to local and being vocal for local. You can simply call it as glocalization, that is linking local initiatives and taking them to global level. Okay, so it is a glocalization under this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Now, according to Prime Minister of India, this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is based on 5 different pillars. Now, what are they? First pillar is economy. Now, according to Indian Prime Minister, when he says economy, he means that there should not be incremental change in the approach of Indian economy. There should be large scale reforms. He had said that there should be quantum jump in the current adversity, and we must convert this adversity into an advantage by taking quantum jump in economic reforms. Then second, he has stressed upon, that is infrastructure. So second pillar of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is infrastructure. We are going to build robust infrastructure in the coming decade so that we can attract most of the manufacturing units to India. Then third is going to be systems. Third pillar is system. What do you mean by systems? Our systems, that is administrative systems, political systems, then decision making apparatus in India should be technology driven, so that they should not follow old rules, but they should follow all the new rules. Then fourth pillar is demography. Fourth pillar is demography. What do you mean by demography? As you all know, India has one of the highest working age population, and what we need to do is we need to skill that population in such a way that we extract maximum output out of it. So it is demography. And fifth pillar of this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is going to be demand. Now you all know that India is one of the largest market in the world, and if you really want to benefit out of this market, you need to strengthen our demand and supply chain so that we utilize it intelligibly, so that our customers are satisfied. Now these five pillars, they are going to lead to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now series of announcements were made, and these announcements are divided into 5 different phases. So Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is divided into 5 different phases. Let's understand each phase in detail. The first phase is going to be MSME, and the focus is going to be on businesses and micro and small sectors in India. The announcement was made of 5,94,550 crore rupees. This economic package was simply meant for MSME. Then special collateral free loans were launched for MSME sector. Then special packages were launched. Special credit facility was launched under this economic package for MSME, and there was substantial change in the definition of MSME under this first announcement. So first phase, it simply focused on MSME along with the businesses, and it provides credit facilities for MSME sector. Then second phase focuses on poor, including migrant workers and farmers. The economic package of 3,10,000 crore rupees has been launched so as to provide free food grains for migrant workers, then support farmers with special credit facility, then provide special collateral free loan through NABARD. So farmers are going to benefit out of this second phase. Then third phase is of agriculture. Now here we are going to focus on agricultural production and agricultural infrastructure. We are going to focus on animal husbandry. We are going to focus on fishing sector, and an economic package of 1,50,000 crore rupees is launched in this phase 3. Now come to phase 4 and phase 5. Phase 4 is about new horizons of growth discovering for Indian economy, and fifth phase is related to government reforms and various enabling decisions taken by the government of India. The total economic package under the fourth and fifth phase amounts to 48,100 crore rupees. Okay, so when we sum up all the economic packages under 5 different phases, it roughly comes around 20 lakh crore rupees. Now under fourth and fifth phase, we have launched self-reliance in defense sector. We have increased the foreign direct investment cap from 49% to 74%. Then we have initiated coal sector reforms, labor reforms, technology driven education, continuation of ease of doing business, then various national institutes for promotion of higher education. So all this has been launched under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Now you may ask the question, why experts are criticizing this Abhiyan and why they are so against the announcements made by Finance Ministry. Now for that, we need to understand the details of, or we need to decode the details of this economic package. Now for that purpose, we need to understand what is going to be the position of Indian economy subsequent to this economic crisis. Remember, due to 54 days lockdown, there is complete halt of Indian economy, and because of that, the gross value addition in Indian economy is going to be reduced by 13%. So in the year 2020-2021, Indian economy will reduce, or there is going to be reduction of 13% in global value addition. Now, if there is 13% of reduction in global value addition, the GDP of India will reduce by or will decline by 12.5%. So it will have impact on incomes of individual. It will have impact on expenditures of three different actors in India. What are they? First, there will be huge reduction in expenditure by household sector. There will be huge reduction in expenditure by private sector, and there will be huge reduction in expenditure by government. The government is in superpower position. They can make expenditure even if they are not getting revenue. And for that purpose, according to some important experts and important institutions, and one important institution stands out in this debate, that is National Institute of Public Finance and Policy, they came out with one paper after this corona pandemic, and they suggested that if India wants to bring growth in a positive territory, if they want to arrest this decline in GVA and decline in GDP, India needs to invest 3 to 4% of their GDP over and above what was planned in the union budget of 2020-2021. तो देखिए कैसे, if we are planning to spend 100 rupees in the budget of 2020, then we need to invest some 4 to 5% more in that budgeted amount. Okay, now we need to understand whether we are investing that much amount from this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. And for that purpose, we need to bifurcate various economic packages that are launched by Government of India. Now, if you study the Government of India packages launched in the first to fifth phase of economic, this Atmanirbhar Bharat, you will understand that it is the mixture of liquidity infusion and fiscal expenditure. Remember, there is huge difference in liquidity infusion. As you all know, when RBI inflates the money supply, when RBI increases the money supply by pumping more and more money into economy, it is called as liquidity infusion. And when government spends more and more from their purse, it is called as fiscal expenditure. Now, if we calculate the total amount of fiscal expenditure in 20 lakh crore rupees, and if we calculate what is going to be the liquidity infusion in 20 lakh crore rupees, the amounts are very staggering. For example, the actual fiscal expenditure that is over and above the budgeted expenditure is less than 3 lakh crore rupees. Okay, and 12 lakh crore rupees is going to be liquidity infusion. So out of 20 lakh crore rupees, only 3 lakh crore rupees are going to be spent by the government over and above their budgeted expenditure. Now this amounts to less than 1% of our GDP. So we are spending 1% of our GDP more over and above our fiscal expenditure, which is not enough for tackling this economic crisis, and that's why entire economic community is criticizing this Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, what is the way out? The way out is government has to transparently announce how it is going to raise resources for this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. And second most important thing that government needs to do is they need to transparently tell the economy that how much they are going to spend from fiscal expenditure over and above the budgeted expenditure that was planned in the union budget of 2020. If this happens, then we can be confident about Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, and then we can surely say that this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan will take Indian economy out of the economic recession. Okay, thank you students. You can ask questions and you can comment below this video, and I will answer those questions in different formats. Thank you.